Hello, today I'm going to be giving you advice on how to improve your presentations. A good way to improve your presentations is about starting with a strong hook. This captures the attention of the audience and will hopefully maintain it throughout the presentation. So with a strong hook, I mean starting your presentation with an interesting statement. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're giving a presentation about the American Civil War. Instead of saying the American Civil War and then your name and then starting your presentation, you can say the war that changed America. This automatically captures more attention. Alright, next thing to keep in mind is how we speak. You don't want to speak too fast and you don't want to speak too slow. You want to speak at a regular, normal speed like I'm doing now. Also, articulate every single word you say so your audience can understand each word and the information doesn't get jumbled up. Another thing to bear in mind is your pronunciation. Make sure that you're pronouncing every single word correctly. I've seen a lot of people who mispronounce names or words from another language, or maybe just words that might be a bit more complex. Before a presentation, you always want to practice every single word, name, and anything that might cause an issue, just to make sure that you're doing it correctly and that you don't make a mistake while you're actually presenting. If you do, you'll just look like you don't care and are lazy, and then your audience will not trust you. So again, speak at a regular speed, articulate every single word, and pronounce them correctly too. So this next point ties in with the previous one as it is about how to speak. When you're speaking in a presentation, you don't want to speak the same throughout. You don't want to speak in monotone. Instead, you want to add variation to your voice. You can do this by adding emotion, changing the volume, or changing the speed of your voice. Although bear in mind that however you speak, you must always speak in a way that is appropriate and matches what you're actually saying. And always remember to remain confident and sound confident when you're speaking. Alright, let me give you an example. So let's say that I'm talking about a battle where a lot of people died. Instead of sounding happy about it, I might slow it down a little bit, slow my voice down, and sound a little bit sadder about it. This will be more appropriate to what I'm describing. Another thing you can do is when there's an important point that you want to highlight in your presentation, you can raise your voice a little bit and state that point and then give a 1 to 2, maybe 3 second pause after that point, and this will let it sink in with the audience so they'll remember it a lot better. So remember, volume, speed, and emotion change your voice. Although, always sound confident and the way you speak must always be appropriate to what you're saying. The last thing to keep in mind while presenting is to stay concise. In a presentation, you don't want to talk more than you have to. And there's usually a time limit anyway, and you should always respect that. If you start speaking over the time limit or the presentation is too long, then the people listening to you will get irritated and will stop listening and might even forget what they have heard beforehand. If you have a partner or maybe a group, then you always want to split the time or the time each individual talks or the content evenly so that you all get your fair share. In addition, an important thing to remember with a group or a partner is that they know and you know your sections. Because the worst thing that can happen is that you and your partner start speaking at the same time, then look at each other confused. This just makes your presentation unprofessional. So remember, split the time evenly, respect the time limit, and decide and know your section. One more thing to keep in mind is practice. It doesn't matter if the presentation is 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, or 1 hour long. You have to practice the presentation to do well on it. A good way of practicing is standing in front of a mirror and practicing that way. Although, you can also practice in front of your parents, siblings, or friends. This way, if you're nervous about talking in front of a group of people, then this will help a little bit. But either way, even if you're a confident presenter, You have to practice because it will make your presentation stand out and it will make it above all the rest.